I'm Frank.
And I'm Grant, and our idea for Field and Flame stemmed from our love for the outdoors and cooking. Based in northern Minnesota, we have such incredible resources available to us. From duck to deer and salmon to walleye, we truly have it all. Field and Flame is a show about our adventures in the field and cooking what we capture over the flame. Follow along each week as we explore something new and bring taste and flavor to every meal. Season 1 of Field and Flame TV is brought to you by Canine Health Forward, because every dog deserves this. Fall is in the air. It's a chilly October morning. The leaves are turning. It was 27, 28 degrees driving up this morning, and that's what really kicks these crappies into gear. And that's our goal today, is to come out here on these northern Minnesota lakes and catch a few crappies, and we're gonna go back and have a fish fry, right? There's really nothing better than fried crappie, and that's what we're gonna do, is fry it up in our crispy Cajun and our garlic gold, our two different breadings for fish. But yeah, nothing just beats a fall fish fry, right? It's good. It's good. And to catch them northern Minnesota crappies, hopefully we can get a couple in that 11, 12, 13 inch range. Just some gorgeous crappies. So 54, 55 degree water, good temps. That's kind of what kickstart these crappies, right? Your water temps start dropping, and these crappies kind of push to deeper water, right? So we just use your electronics, scan over some deeper water, try to locate them, and then we'll drop a jig in a minnow on them. But yeah, that's our plan for today. So stick with us. It should be a fun one. $20 feet right here.
Perfect water temps.
Yeah, it's a good water temp, right? In the past 2 weeks, water's dropped 15, 20 degrees.
There's crappie.
There's a crappie.
Yeah, when it comes
Big
down from that 67 to 53 to 56, that's when the fall bite is.
Big school of them. So they're suspended. They're down 12 feet over 20 feet of water. And that's very, very typical for this time of year.
A couple more too.
Some lakes, this lake, they're like in 3s, 4s, 5s, right?
Yeah.
If I remember right. And then some of the lakes, right, you'll have crappies, it'll be 1,000, right? So each lake is different, but this lake here, they're in smaller groups. But yeah, that was a definite group back there. So I got a waypoint on that one. So I think we'll kill our big motor here. We can start up the Garmin here and kind of scan around and try to pinpoint them, and then we'll essentially just cast jigs to these fish. So not much wind today. It's pretty nice. It's very nice conditions. Yeah, they're more to the left a little bit, 50. There we go.
Nice.
You got him, Busker?
Heck yeah, bud.
Feels like a crappie. It doesn't feel that big though.
Great flavor.
Ooh, that's actually a good crappie.
Nice.
that's a big crappie.
Yeah, that is. Nothing wrong with that.
Heck yeah, dude. That's a northern Minnesota crappie right there.
Sweet.
A little more thick in the back, nice golden color.
Oh yeah.
Solid 11 incher, maybe 12. That's a nice fish.
Yeah, it is.
That's a good way to start the morning here.
Absolutely.
That fish was a little bit lower. That one was not suspended. We saw him on the electronics there. That fish was, 1-2 feet off bottom. So whereas we're seeing a couple suspended, a couple on bottom. But yeah, that's a good first crappie of the morning there, right? Fills up your hand.
Oh yeah.
We'll put him in the live well and get back down there and catch another one. But yeah, fall time crappies, you can't beat it, man. That's a gorgeous fish. Gorgeous fish. So all we're doing is taking these minnows and kind of hooking them through the mouth, out through the gill, and through the side, kind of like that, so we can cast these minnows, right? We're trying to cast to these crappies that are a little bit away from the boat. So we want to be able to make some longer casts and not have that minnow fall off. So there's a fish. That's a good crappie there. That feels like a good crappie. Oh, that's
that's a slab.
hoss, dude. Holy cow.
Let me get that for you.
Oh my goodness. Look at the size of that crappie.
That's a questionable boat flip on a big crappie.
Dude, that's like a bass.
That is a largemouth.
Look at the size of that crappie, man.
Nice.
That's a giant.
Heck yeah, dude.
That's a Northwoods giant right there, hey? That's a special fish. That's a very, very special fish. That's a big crappie. I want to put a tape measure on him, but what do you like, 14?
Yeah, that's got to be.
That's a stud.
That's not
Absolute
14.
stud.
That's a fat 13.
Bad time for you to be retying.
Right.
There's a school. There's like 4 of these fish all together, and when they're grouped up like that, they're usually all the same size. That's a big, big Northwoods crappie right there, man. Special fish.
I was cringing when you were flipping them. Like,
Right.
oh, come on.
That's a big fish. That gets me going, man. That's a big, big crappie.
Look how tall it is, too.
Yeah, I mean, that's just not, that's a special fish, right?
Yeah.
Like I,
Keep these ones, not those ones.
did you just catch that?
Yeah.
Nice,
These
dude.
are the perfect size.
Right? Like that's a special, like in walleye, in equivalence to walleye, especially here in northern Minnesota, like that's like a 26-inch walleye, right? We're not going to keep a 26-inch walleye. So, you know, pay your respects to those big fish. A 14-inch Northwoods crappie like that, it's a special fish, right? So, we're just going to play selective harvest on a few smaller ones, and you know, let those big ones go, because it's cool to catch a crappie like that. It's special. That's awesome. Nice work, dude.
Heck yeah.
Were there more? How many were
No,
with that
there
one?
was
You
just
caught?
one.
Just one?
Yeah, it's kind of
The Lone Ranger, huh?
Lone Ranger.
All right. That feels big.
They're like really not.
This is a crappie. It's another big one, Buster.
They're like mouthing it. You notice that?
Yeah,
on the
they're
first
not
couple?
thumping it, hey?
Get out of your way here.
There's another crappie.
There's another nice one.
Dude, these are big crappies.
That's a perfect eater too, though.
Yeah, that's the perfect, like 11,
Yeah.
right?
Perfect. 10 and a half, 11, 10.
Exactly. That's perfect. That's perfect. That one, like, there's more on bottom on the
I'm dropping
grass.
straight down.
Oh, you're right in on Busker on the 2D. Let's watch him come up.
This is how I used to catch them
Old
all the
school.
time.
Here he comes. Here he comes. There he is.
This is how I still catch them.
That's old school. I like it, dude.
Ooh, yeah.
That's another nice one.
Indeed.
Look at that. Look at that. Northwoods crappies, man. Yeah. Fall time. Like literally the only boat out here. And this is just, it's not abnormal.
It's awesome.
Gorgeous fish. But these are on bottom. That's kind of surprising me, because typically they're a little more suspended. But
Jesus.
I don't know. We'll catch them however we want to catch them, but that's cool, dude.
Heck yeah.
Couple nice, that's nice crappies for dinner right there. Put them in the well. That was cool seeing that one come up on the 2D. Like you just ride, like flash back to like the 90s.
Yeah,
eh?
no doubt.
see him come up. That's cool. Oh, you're right in him. You're closer than I was. Here he comes to you. There he is. Attaboy.
Nice.
Attaboy. That looked big on the live scope, dude.
That one hit it a little harder.
Yeah, he came up and thumped it. They were a little bit more suspended, right?
Yep.
And that's just my theory. The more suspended they are, the more aggressive they're going to be. That's a good one.
Yes, indeed.
That's a good one.
I'll take that all day.
Isn't that fun?
Oh, very fun. Nice little switch up from hunting every day.
Well, it's nice that that's what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
So we can come out here and catch crappies. Yeah, there's a pile of them right there. There he is.
Nice.
He thumped it good. He thumped it good.
Double.
Oh, doubles. Yes. Dude, these battle.
Yes, they
Like
do.
these crappies fight hard. Another nice 10-incher. But they're like, every hook set's like perfect, right? Like they're eating it good. They're eating it good. They're not barely hooked by any means.
Just the backs on these fish too are just so thick.
That's the thing about northern Minnesota crappies. They do get thick, right? And it's using that 1/8 ounce tungsten jig from Northland Tackle. And this tungsten jig, it's going to fall a little bit faster than a lead, right? There's less water resistance as it goes down. That's getting us down to where these crappies are quick before they move. Perfect eaters.
Yes.
They're gonna make a good fish fry.
Oh yeah, excited to eat some crappie.
Oh, there's not much that's better. There he is. Ooh, that one's
Massive.
They come up and bite and they turn and they like stop you, right? Like they're good fish. And the nice part about this is that we're not too deep of water. 16, 17, 18 feet, and these fish are coming up so that, you know, we can effectively practice catch and release. That's a nice crappie there, buddy.
I'll grab if you want to slide it over here. You can lip it just like a bass.
That's a big crappie. Look at how thick that back is.
I mean, that's another 13-inch crappie.
That's a crappie with girth there, man.
Heck yeah, here's a fish.
That's cool. Very nice fish. Very. Oh, that thing's got a forehead on him.
Stout.
That's a stud. That's a stud for northern Minnesota, right? It's not known for big crappies up here, but there's some spots like this that kind of live under the radar and they can produce some fine fishing. That's a big crappie. That's another one that we're gonna release here. Again, a special fish, a rare fish, and you know, these big ones deserve to live on. So let's get that guy back. There he goes. Sometimes you want to go for like the elegant release, like a walleye or trout does, and they swim off. But sometimes with crappies, it's almost better if you just flop them in the water, right? And it kind of shocks them or stuns them, and then they go, right? Sometimes if you go for that super slow release, they don't want to swim off. But perfectly healthy. Again, catching this fish out of 17, 16 feet of water, right? They're gonna be able to release just well. We know these fish are gonna live and you know, help protect a lake like this. So that's cool. Let's catch another one. Got him. That's pretty cool when they sit right under your boat. That feels like another nice fish. That's a nice crappie. That's a nice crappie. Beautiful, beautiful crappie. What a fun half day we've had here on a northern Minnesota lake catching awesome crappies, man. Like those are special northern Minnesota fish right there, and they're gonna provide even more delicious table fare for us. So we're gonna head back to the landing, get a bunch of these guys cleaned up, and then we're gonna meet up with Frank and do a fall crappie fish fry. So that's fun. What a day we've had. Let's get the boat out of the water, get these fish cleaned up, and meet up with Frank because I have an appetite. All right, so we got a couple of our crappies here, so we're just gonna get these filleted. Again, we're gonna fry these up, but even with frying them up, I like to take all the bones out. I'm not a fan of eating fish with bones in them, so we're gonna make these completely boneless. Crappies fillet similar to a walleye, but they have a lot bigger kind of chest cavities, rib cages. So there's one of our fillets there, and then we'll flip it over and do the other side here. Nice white flaky meat. Fries up really good, mainly because when you keep these smaller ones, it's thin, so you get a nice crispy texture in your fillets. So there we have two nice crappie fillets. Next, I take out the rib cage. Again, these rib cages on crappies are very, very big, contrasted to pretty much any other fish in freshwater. Okay, our rib cages are out. Now, again, since we are transporting these, we're gonna leave a little bit of skin on. But here's what we do is I just kind of make a little cut right there, and I take my knife and we just go right down the meat like that. Right down there. We'll keep a little bit of skin on there, so it's, you know, legal to transport. And then again, crappies, similar to a walleye, are gonna have kind of these Y bones, right? They don't Y necessarily, but that's where they are, and they run completely vertical, straight up and down. So you can just make one cut right there, and then another cut right there, and right there. That is a completely boneless crappie fillet, and a big crappie fillet at that, right? I mean, look how thick it is up here in this part of on the top of the fish. Like that's a healthy meal. Like that's a lot of meat from one side of a crappie right there, right? And these are the smaller crappies, right? We let all the really big ones go. So again, you don't need a ton of crappies for a fish fry, but you know, keeping those 10 to 11 and a half inches. 7, 8 of them can give you a really good sized fish fry. So you should have been on the water. It was a good day. We got some big crappies.
Nice, man. I didn't get invited, so otherwise I would have went.
Yeah, I forgot to text you. These are the smaller of the crappies. So we got some 13, 14 inchers that we released because a 14-inch crappie in northern Minnesota is a pretty special fish.
Definitely.
We made it a point to keep some 10, 11 and a half inchers. So that's what we got here.
Nice.
I made them
Good
all
eaters.
boneless.
Cool.
And today we're going to use our 2 breadings. This is the garlic gold. This is the crispy Cajun.
Definitely.
But I thought something that we can highlight is kind of and show, because you taught me this, is showing how we can totally control the thickness of the breading on a fillet, right?
Yep, definitely.
With what you do, kind of how you dip that fillet and kind of the order of operations.
Yep.
So I'm going to hand this over to you, but let's highlight that and kind of show it, because that was totally new to me. I've been frying fish for 20 years. I never knew that, right?
Yep.
Pretty cool. So yeah, we'll hand this over to Frank. We'll get some crappies fried up here on the Camp Chef stove, and yeah, that'll be cool.
For sure. Yeah, it's going to be great.
All right, let's make it happen.
Awesome. Alrighty, so we are going to go over these breadings a little bit. This is our garlic gold. This is like our original style breading. It has some garlic notes in it. It's not overpowering by any means. It's got flour, a little bit of cornmeal, black pepper, garlic, onion, salt, and then it has a lemon peel and citric acid in it. So it balances super well with any kind of fish. Does really well on chicken too. Like I said, this is kind of our all-purpose, all-around, original style breading here. Then we go to this crispy Cajun cornmeal, which is our biggest seller by far. A little more cornmeal in there for that crispy texture, which you'll see when we fry them. Those Cajun seasonings, which is in our Cajun blend. A couple other extra things added in there. Again, great on everything, made for fish, but we've done grouse in this. We've done chicken, we've done shrimp. You can use it kind of on anything. We're going to go over a little bit on the breading process here. You can do a couple different things. So the breading wise, if you just take this fish out of this bag, you can just use it with the breading. You can dip it right in here and fry it, and you're going to have a super nice, thin, still crispy coating on this. It's not going to be super thick. It's not going to be really crunchy, but it is going to have a nice crunch to it, and it's going to be, I guess, more healthy, as you would say. It's going to have a little less breading. Same goes with this. Straight out of the bag, straight into the breading. It's going to stick and it's going to work well. The other way we can do it, which we're going to show you too, is a 3-step breading process. We're going to take the crappie out of the bag. We are going to dip it in flour, and then we are going to go to some scrambled eggs, some beaten eggs. And the reason we dip it in flour first is so that egg has something to stick to. If you just take this fish directly in the egg, you pick it up, you'll see it all just kind of falls off. So we're going to go flour first, egg, and then we're going to go into the breading. So then that egg holds the breading on. You're going to have super crisp flavor. It's going to cook really well, and it's going to hold for a while. We have these crappie fillets here. We're going to take these out and just kind of lay them out so we kind of see what we're working with here. And we have the breading process set up. So again, this is 3-step: fish, flour, egg, breading. Or we're also going to show you fish, breading, and we're just going to show you the difference that the two make. We have our oil almost ready. Oil is ready. A little bit of water or grease, whatever you got, pop it in there. If it starts popping, kind of knows you're ready. Some flour, show it'll start bubbling, you know that's ready. Or you take a temp of it. We're looking like 350, 375. Super nice fillets here. So I'll just show you the first with this 3-step. So it's the flour. Shake it off. It's nicely coated. And you always want to keep one dry hand when you're doing this. So if you're doing a bunch, keep one dry hand. So on my right hand's my dry hand. If you don't do that, you'll have Frankenstein fingers. See how that egg coats up real nice on there? Shake that off into there. So now I'm going to take my dry hand. I'm going to move this around a little bit. So when we do straight, when we go flour, egg, breading, the flour, again, that makes the egg stick to the fish. Then the egg sticks to the fish, the breading can stick to the fish. And this isn't going to be a super heavy coated breading, but it is going to be nice and thick on there. So that's the 3-step process. You can see it's a full coat on there. We also can do fish straight to the breading. This is gonna make for a little lighter coated fish. You can kind of see through it a little more. If you're not looking for that thick, heavy coat, this is kind of the way to do it. Or if you're out and you don't want to bring pans with eggs and flour, you can do it this way too. So I'll fry these up side by side so you can kind of see the difference there. And then we'll also do this with the Cajun as well so you can see that. So we'll drop that in there. We are doing this in just a shallow cast iron, so a little shallow fry. If you have a big pot at home, you can do it that way too. Or I like this style, it's just super easy, it doesn't take long to heat up the oil. Keep an eye on your oil temp, you don't want it too hot, you don't want it too cold. I like having a thermometer when I do it. Just keep an eye on it because then you can adjust the temperature as you go. After you add some product to it, your temp is going to drop a little bit, so just keep that in mind. So we started about 375, right now we're down to about 365, so that's still good. I just want to be above 350. This fish is now done. You can kind of tell it's floating off the bottom a little bit. It's a good indication that it's done. Here is the 3-step process fish. Nice and thick, nice and crispy. Here is the straight to the breading. Also still holding its shape, but you can tell that it is definitely not as thick a breading. Still gonna work out really well, still gonna taste great. Just if you're out somewhere, you don't need the flour and the egg. So we made it so it sticks straight to the protein if you're doing fish, chicken, grouse, goose, whatever you might be frying up. As you can see on the right here, this is the 3-step. This one here is just the straight to the breading. Definitely a consistency difference on the thickness of the breading. Both really great, just either way you want to do it, we made it so you can do it either way. I say crappie is the best fish that you can fry. Super great flavor, a little bit of sweetness to the fish. This fall time, they're really great in size, super thick fillets, so these make great for a little fish fry. All right, Grant, I got some food here ready if you're ready.
It looks and smells delicious.
Oh, it's good, yeah. So I got this sauce here. This is like a super easy tartar sauce. We use our agate-based seasoning on. And then I got 2 pieces of fish for you to try, one with our crispy Cajun cornmeal and one with our garlic gold. If anyone sees this and they're looking for these breadings, you can buy them online, fieldflame.com, or we do have some local retailers in the Duluth, Two Harbors area as well. And then this is our crispy Cajun.
That's a big crappie fillet.
That
was one of the smaller ones.
And that's our garlic gold there. So you can give those a shot.
That's a good looking plate, man.
Definitely, yeah.
And I just love, so essentially there's 3 ways to do that, and we highlighted 2 of them here, right? You can take that fillet, you can just dip it straight into the breading, right? If you're out in the field or wherever, at your cabin, you don't have milk, you don't have egg, it doesn't matter, right? Put that fillet right into the breading, start cooking it, because as you can see, the breading is going to stick to that fillet. If you want a more thick crust on it, right, take that fillet, flour, egg, breading, right? Or else you can take that fillet, go right into the egg, and then into the breading. But, you know, so, I mean, the best way, which I like, which Frank taught me here, is to take that fillet, go to flour, to egg, to breading, right? I mean, it's fantastic. Yeah. It's super, super good.
Get a super consistent breading all throughout.
Right.
There's no big gaps in the breading, and it cooks really well. And
yeah,
I mean, look at that, still smoking.
It's hard to beat a fried crappie in the fall.
Definitely,
It's one of my favorites, right? Yep. About as good as it gets.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it, and thanks for bringing those to us. And
I'll go catch crappies for you anytime.
Yeah, all right, I'll take them.
If you want to cook them, I'll just keep them coming.
Right? Yeah, definitely. We'll just set up a station. You bring them, and I'll cook them.
Fall time right now is the time to catch crappies. It's so good.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm happy you had a good fish, and
heck yeah, man. Awesome. Nice work. Good cooking, and thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.